Okay, well, let's just do SmackDown right now. Wow, what a number for Raw this week.
Yeah, it was like their biggest number in 3 years.
That shows you, bro, the bloodline. Isn't that crazy? That everybody, that whole audience from SmackDown tuned into Raw.
Well, not only that, bro. The first hour had no commercials.
Right.
When do you see that?
Yeah. All right, so let's get into. Let's start with SmackDown. Okay. I'm kind of upset that because I've read.
I got it. I'm sending it to you
on ProWrestling.net.
Yeah.
Where did you find it?
I just scrolled down. You might have just missed it.
Well, it's definitely not in the WWE TV review section. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not
it was on the main page when I scrolled down.
All right, cool. All right, so SmackDown starts with the Bloodline shows up, 2 SUVs. Sami went to fist bump Roman, but he rolled his eyes and walked right past him. And then, of course, Paul had the horrified look on his face, like, oh no, like he's funny with those facials. So we go to the match. There's a tournament. Okay, so the Viking Raiders against Sheamus and Drew. This was a very good. This went long, but it went through 2 breaks. But this didn't seem that long. It was a good big man match. What did you? Then Sheamus and Drew go over with a good finishing sequence where one of the Viking Raiders runs into a knee, then a Claymore kick, and then Sheamus puts him away with a bro kick. A good finishing sequence, and they beat the Viking Raiders, who looked good. That was probably one of the best matches they've had in a while. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, I thought the Vikings versus, and again, I don't like this name, Banger Bros, was really physical, like you expected it to be. Really good. They all work good together. They're all good workers. All their matches are good now. I don't know why this was the first match of the tournament. I think this should have been the finals of the tournament. The Vikings looked good. They got a good look. You know, they've been having good matches lately, unlike in the past, because they're probably motivated. I like one of them countered the Claymore kick with a spin kick. Good finish, good match, good way to open up the show.
So backstage now, Sami is in the room with Roman and Paul, and he requested a conversation. He said the greeting in the parking lot felt a little frosty and wanted to make sure things were cool. And Roman said he saw him last week and he's trying to cover it for tonight, so give it to him straight. Sami explained that he felt privileged with the task of taking care of the Roman Reigns problem. He felt slighted when the Usos interfered in his match and robbed him of the opportunity. He continued to say he didn't know the plan. And Kevin keeps saying he's being used, and for a split second, he thought he might be right, but it's fine. Roman reacted negatively and told Sami to get out. He said he didn't have to run his plans by the honorary Us, and he was tired of having this conversation every week. And Roman told Sami to get out of there, and then Sami left the room.
Yeah, good storyline progression, really good.
Backstage, Raquel Rodriguez said everything in the home state of Texas is bigger, and she plans on making the Rumble the biggest moment of her career. And she says she planned on earning her way to WrestleMania. And she did this with the smiley face again, which I was anticipating, hoping that she would start being more heelish, but this is right back to her baby face persona, which I think is kind of boring.
At least it was a good promo by her, which isn't her strong suit.
All right, so LA Knight, Music Kid, he made his way to the ring for a match. He grabbed a microphone and asked why Bray Wyatt can't figure out whether or not he's Uncle Howdy. He then said Bray asked who he is. He responded that he's LA Knight. Knight said that he would turn off Bray's light switch at the Rumble, and that would be the end of that. Then he wrestled some bum named Ren Jones and beats him quickly. And after the match, the Firefly Funhouse there on the big screen with all the cartoon characters. And this was, Rambling Rabbit said LA Knight is cool with them, and Sister Abigail told him to. And Husky the pig ate chocolate, and Bray commented, "You have to be insane to name your child Los Angeles Knight." Then Bray bent down and told Rambling Rabbit what he's feeling is normal, and that the darkness is a place where things hide under his bed. In fact, you should be afraid of the dark. Uncle Howdy then appeared on the screen and said, "I told you so," and all he needed was a little push. And Bray said the Rumble, Knight was the one that opened the door, and it was his responsibility to deal with whoever walked through it. He then said bye, and the show ended. What did you think of this?
Well, LA Knight, another good promo. He hasn't had one bad promo from the male models.
They're giving him a lot of mic time, too.
Yeah, because they know he's good and he's getting over. And he's getting over, too.
Right, yeah.
And, bro, this to me, like the last month, had been getting kind of stale. I like that they brought back the Funhouse. I actually liked when that rabbit, whatever the name, and they all have names, but I don't know.
Ramblin' Rabbit, isn't it?
Ramblin' Rabbit.
Said the guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Admitted that Knight was cool, and the Sister Abigail told him to shut the fuck up. I thought that was great. And I like the Firefly Funhouse. I'm just waiting to see when the Fiend comes back. I want to see that. So I'm a little bit interested because it was getting very stale.
Top
LA Knight is carrying this.
Hit Row against Los Lotharios in a tournament match, and Hit Row wins in 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Just there's nothing to this.
Did you see the video that Top Dollar did with The Godfather?
No.
Very good, bro. Very good.
Can you find it, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And so I can't believe that this match was really short, not that good, even though Karrion looked great. Dollar Store at least has better gear, but he could still upgrade it. And I don't understand this. If Dollar's the one that got insulted and kind of turned heel and has the momentum, why did Ashanti take the pin?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Right.
All right, so Charlotte Flair came out, cut a promo. She cut a promo on Sonya Deville, and Sonya walked out because she didn't care what this disgusting city wants. She cares about what she deserves. That's a title opportunity. Her and Charlotte go back and forth. Sonya told the crowd and Charlotte that she's a star every time she walks through the curtain. Last week, it took 6 people to rip her away from Charlotte. The crowd was chanting that she sucks. Charlotte acknowledges she's a star. This was very long-winded to where they were going, but basically she offered to fight Sonya, but she refused, saying there was nothing in it for her unless Charlotte was willing to put her title on the line. Then Adam Pearce walked out and said he heard enough, and then Sonya blindsided him, and that was the end of the segment.
Bro, this was a filler segment, just an excuse to get Charlotte on the air. Really meant nothing. They went back and forth about who knows what, and she was trying to get her to do championship match, like you said, until Adam Pearce came out. And then she hit her on her way, like sucker punched her on her way out. And, bro, it like meant nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
This was a waste of time.
Right. So, all right. So next is so backstage, Roman and asked Heyman about Sami Zayn. And Heyman said he hadn't liked Sami from day one, but he's tried to implement his vision as his counsel. He then said that Roman should consider when signing a contract with Kevin Owens that it may be better to have Sami inside the castle pissing out than outside the castle pissing in. That was an interesting line. So Lacey Evans, who is the queen of the vignette, it's another vignette and has her beating up people using the Cobra Clutch like military.
Bro, it's incredible how many makeovers she's had. You know what I'm saying? They never give up on her.
It's not really a makeover. It's like what they did was they had this concept of like, you know what it's like? Like remember in the Sopranos, okay? And you would want the Sopranos each show at the end it would say written by.
Right.
And like during a season, there'd be like 6 or 7 different writers for the shows. I think they like gave like every writer a shot. Said, "Hey, we want to do a military gimmick with her. Go produce a vignette." And like we got 6 different types of vignettes for like the same concept. Is what this comes across as. What do you
none of them have gotten over.
Right. I thought this one was good because it made it look tough.
Yeah, it was good, but let's see what they do from here.
I still her and Raquel Rodriguez should be in Damage Control with Bailey.
Right.
Would be a better look.
Right.
So next we do the Imperium against the Brawling Brutes, another tag team tournament match, and basically just you knew who was going to win this because Sheamus is wrestling with Drew, so the Brutes are like these two guys aren't going to do nothing. So Imperium goes over, and you can see they're trying to push Imperium here. So backstage after that match, Sami Zayn was sitting on a crate, and Heyman says the boss wants to see you. What'd you think of this?
A really good match. They've worked a lot together, like on house shows and on TV. And they work well together. It almost seems like they're not pushing Butch and Holland like they were before, but let's see what happens. But this was a really good match.
So then they go, Shayna Baszler cuts a backstage promo and asks the viewer to imagine what it's like to compete with a broken arm, shoulder, or ankle. She then told the rest of the locker room to stay away from her because she would tear them apart limb from limb. Cole said Baszler tied a record by eliminating 8 women from the Rumble last year. She looks pretty good. She looks – the way she does her makeup and with her teeth missing and stuff like that, she looks pretty tough.
Yeah, she's a believable heel.
Right, somebody you wouldn't want to mess with,
Right, like she can back up what she's saying.
Right, yeah, and when she talks like that, that's a good look for her, So Kross is backstage with Scarlett and he said he would be stepping in the ring next week with Mysterio. Normally he really gets amped up for a fight, but this time not so much. He said Ray can't decide whether he wants to be a family man or the greatest of all time because you can't be both. And then said when he's done with Ray, he'll take out the 29 other superstars to Rumble because that's his too. This was produced with the quick edits of the clock and everything else. I thought this was good.
Well done as usual.
Yeah. So next we have Legado del Fantasma against the Maximum Male Models. I'll tell you this much about the Maximum Male Models. Okay, they invest in their gimmick. They're actually pretty entertaining out there for like a comedy tag team. I like the way they tag each other with their index finger, and they do these spots where they end up in poses and stuff. They dress like schmucks, but basically they got beaten 2 minutes and 45 seconds. They're never going to win. But I will say this: they had what's her name on commentary with what's her name?
Yeah, Selena.
I think the first 2.5 minutes of the match, she didn't say a word.
Right, but then after that, she picked it up. No, I didn't notice that, but then she picked it up. And I love the guys' names because I had forgotten Massey and Mansoor.
Mansoor.
I thought they had broken them up. I thought, I just think that if they were given enough time, they have to, I think they could be somebody. You know what I'm saying?
They have a lot of personality out there.
Yeah, I like when they do the strike a pose.
Right.
And I wouldn't mind.
They got some gimmicks you can imitate.
Right. And I wouldn't mind Joe Josefina Fini, nothing, joining them, nothing.
Right. So after the match, Roman addressed Sami backstage. He told Sami he's got a temper. And he puts people in his place like Paul Heyman to advise that anger. Roman said he wasn't hearing him. He just wanted to be part of a team and feel communicated with. And Sami said exactly, and said it meant the world to him to hear those words. Roman said sometimes he expects the same loyalty and respect he gives out in return. Sami replied that they all love him, and he would always place the family above everything. Roman promised clear communication, told Sami to find the Usos and get the SUVs and the jet ready to go. He and Solo would go to the ring and sign the contract, and then they were getting out of there. Sami said it was done. Heyman leaned over to Reigns and thanked him after Sami left the room. This is good, more progression. So they did that. So they got the thing.
And at the end, and the reason I'm going to bring this up is because when we go over Raw, at the end, if you notice, when Sami leaves, Paulie tells Roman, "Thank you for listening to him."
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so then Roman comes out with a Solo and Paul Heyman. And he's got his feet propped up on the desk, and then just out of nowhere, Kevin Owens pulls Solo out of the ring, delivered a stunner to Reigns. The Usos come charging in the ring out of nowhere, and he gets them out. He puts Roman a powerbomb through the table, and Heyman screamed, and Owens grabbed the contract from him and signed it. And Sami Zayn appeared on the apron and looked furious, and Owens tossed the contract at him and then left through the crowd, with Sami thinking about chasing him away, but the rest of the Bloodline regrouped, and Sami stared at Owens in the crowd. Reading that doesn't really sound as good as it came across because it got good pops when Owens hit the ring, and it was very well.
Bro, this was
well
great. This
was
great because Roman did a star-like entrance as usual,
right?
And instead of the same we always see, this guy attacked him from behind, stunned him, put him through the table.
Right. Good damage.
Right. And then, Sami got there late, and he has an excuse because he told them to get the jets ready and the cars ready to leave.
They covered their bases.
Right. This was great, and also Heyman, in the corner, all scared as usual, just great without saying a word. Right. This was great.
Yeah. All right. So then we go into, so that was SmackDown.